Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is Jon.
This is Crystal.
I'm Marc.
I'm Zoe.
We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom. We share inspiration, we share struggles, we brainstorm solutions. We would love to have you join us. Hi friends, welcome to Chaotic Harmony. I'm here with Jonathan.
Hey there.
And Sasha.
Good morning.
And we're going to try something a little bit different today. We are going to bring some friends in who are going to call in. We just got back from the American Orchestral Work Association's Professional Development Conference in Salt Lake City, Utah. 2019. There are a lot lot in that. But I think we can all agree that I just said that really well.
You nailed it.
Thank you. We're debriefing because we're like on cloud nine. We're all so inspired. Our bonds with each other got way deeper. Oh, yeah. We learned so much, and it was so much fun.
It was loads.
So we all, when we went to conference, instead of staying in hotel rooms, we decided to rent a house together, which was seriously the best idea.
We got party.
It was so much fun. It was like a 7-bedroom Victorian, and instead of having to sit on like beds and cram into a hotel room, we had a living room. We had a giant dining table.
We had a great kitchen.
An awesome kitchen in which we cooked dinner. Yes, I had a haunted room. I definitely had a ghost.
I definitely accidentally bumped on the wall.
Shout out to Cynthia.
Sorry about that.
Cynthia.
Yeah, we named her Cynthia.
Oh, yes.
So we cooked dinner together, and then at the end of the day, we were able to get together in the living room and have ukulele jam time.
Great time.
Recorder
jams. We talked about what we learned in the sessions, which was so helpful. So we had like a little mini chapter share time.
Talked about our time, like reflecting on that, and also what we're doing in our schools.
Yes.
A lot of reflection.
It was wonderful, and so we are going to have this be a bit of a call-in episode. So we are starting. Marc Keehmer is driving his family to Thanksgiving. And joining us over FaceTime. Hi, Marc.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I would just like to correct, though.
Oh.
It's my wife, Brianna, doing most of the driving.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you're not
Brianna.
driving and talking.
Right. She's crushing it. And, yeah, I'm back in the back seat with my daughter.
Oh, yay. Hi, Gemma.
Hi, Gemma.
Hey.
Hey, so Marc, I want to hear from you. What was your first AOSA conference like, and what are you thinking about now?
I loved it. I had so much fun. It was definitely one of those things where I didn't really know what to expect. And then being there, just taking it all in, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway as I've reflected since Saturday was just there's so much beauty in simplicity, and their simplicity can be so complex. So for me, one of the things that I have struggled with this last year is kind of this overwhelming feeling like, all right, I'm done with level 3. Like, I need to have all of this like difficult layered stuff. It's just like I need to do that because I'm done with level 3. So like obviously that's expected.
Yeah.
But just going to this, it was just a wonderful reminder. Like all the sessions were so good, and they were all just so packed with so many nuggets. But again, just kind of that overarching thing was just it was simple.
Yeah.
It was just down to the core what orchestral work process is.
Yeah.
And like I just forgot how fun body percussion can be.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Shout out to Otto.
Session with Otto Gross from Waver Music.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Austin Otto is his stage name, which is just wonderful. And just the body percussion was just so fun. And like, why can't I need to bring that back to my kids?
Yeah.
Just because it's the process, and it's at the core of like what the Schulberg is, Yeah.
Nice.
So you're saying we shouldn't be doing Phrygian for Becky with our kids?
Well, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Phrygian for Becky's amazing, don't get me wrong.
Shout out to Cindy Gabler.
I need to practice Phrygian for Becky before I get it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
To my kids.
That's awesome. And Marc, it was just so much fun to be in the house with you. So yeah.
I laughed, but the house was it was fun.
It was fun.
Being able to just bounce ideas off that last night, especially, and just kind of talking about the future and dreams and hopes, and like you don't get that going back to a hotel room and just even if like everyone crams into one hotel room, it's cramped, it's crowded, and like conversations just can be so loud.
Yes.
But having the house was perfect.
It was perfect.
So that was definitely a plus.
Yes.
And then I think this is just for any teacher who's listening who might not have gone to conference yet. Either because you haven't thought about wanting to go or anything, like, you need to go. It was amazing. We got to connect with teachers from all over the United States. We made great friends with the team in Reno. Some really great friendships came out of New York and New Jersey, and just connections with just amazing teachers, you know, that you can reach out to and just like, hey, I sat in your session. I have a question about this. Like, when you have time, can you help me? And like, I did meet a single person who was like, oh, like,
no, I will not help you.
Right. It was just such an open and such a warm community.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a gal. She came up to me and was like, you look like my best friend's husband.
Yeah.
And so we got talking for a little bit, got to tell her about Chula Vista and tell her about the podcast. And so shout out Sarah if she ever listens.
Hey, shout out Sarah.
Yeah. And so just it was just so fun, you know?
Yeah. Well, it was so fun to have you, Marc. It was just like, we learned so much together, and I know that we're going to go back and we're going to give our kids a better version of us. And they deserve that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, friend, drive safe. Enjoy your family, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Marc.
Happy Thanksgiving, Marc.
Love you all.
Love you too.
See you later.
Bye, Marc.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, okay. So we're gonna be calling a couple of people here pretty soon. But I love what Marc said. It's so true. Everybody is so open and so willing to help each other.
Very
and I
much
think
so.
You know what I love about the ORF community is it's like the process doesn't stop. We learned this process that we're meant to transfer onto our children. But it's like once you get deeper into it, now it's your turn to continue the process as an educator and as a teacher educator.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's everybody is there to empower everybody. And oh my gosh, where do you find that?
Nowhere.
Right?
I remember after level 2, Drew asked if I was going to conference, and I said no. And at the time, it was going to be when my concerts were, my performances, and that didn't happen. And so then it was like I was bummed I missed out. But he said something along the lines of, it's like levels except for 4 days crammed into one with no homework, and it's twice as much fun. And once you go, you'll be hooked. And he was so right.
I'm like never missing one again if I can help it.
He said something along the lines of, it's perfect for a nerd, like an ORF nerd like you. And I was just like, you are so right. It was something along, I don't know if it was nerd, but it was like he saw that fire of me wanting more. And so when I got there, what was the first session was Natasha's session.
Yes.
And it was home. I was home. It felt like when you've missed something or someone and you're reunited with them. It was very, I just felt at peace and so ready to just take on the day.
Absolutely.
Similar feeling. Like I also was with you for that first session with Natasha, and beforehand, we got from the airport, we saw each other, we were all happy, whatnot. But that day, once we entered the session, once Natasha started speaking, I was like, I felt giddy.
Yes.
It's like it's time for some fun, but not just fun. We're like on the playground and just creating our own worlds. We're fun creating worlds together.
I love that.
It was great, and like Marc said, especially as people who have been through college, who have been through the academic approach of music, we have this mentality of how good music needs to be complex.
Yes. Yeah.
And yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it shouldn't be simple.
Doesn't mean the only music can be complex.
Well,
geez.
as Marc was saying,
colors, right?
Well, colors, yes, but also like there is complexity and simplicity.
Yes.
And you don't need to be pretentious about your complexity.
No.
And
elemental music is beautiful.
Yes.
And children can play beautiful music.
And they can create better stuff than you can.
That's right.
If you allow it.
That's right.
If you allow it.
Oh my! Sometimes I think about the musicianship that our children are going to be able to attain, and I'm so jealous.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's something that Sasha and I talked about. It's like we are so excited about this process. We're such ORF nerds. We are so in, and we're a little angry that this was not given to us as children, you know, that even general music wasn't, we didn't have that. And so like we're part of that restoration.
Absolutely. It's an injustice that every child, or it's injustice that not every single child has a music education.
Right.
Or they start in 6th grade or they start in 4th grade.
Yes.
It really is a tragedy, and their lives are not going to be as whole or as creative or as loving until they kind of are allowed to explore their own creativity. And
I mean, the core elements of what we focus on in education are important, and that's great that they have a facet of creativity in the writing portion, but not everyone is built to be writers or is built to express themselves through writing.
Right.
People are built to express themselves in different ways, and that's what I love about music. It's a performing art, and it's not just auditory, it's also kinesthetic. And I mentioned this to some friends of mine. I don't know if I told you guys this, but we had the banquet. It was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it's so much
fun. The thing is, in high school and middle school and college, I hated the ballroom. I hated dancing. I hate it.
That's so crazy to me knowing you now.
I know, but it was so apprehensive because there was a lot of judgment, and if you're not doing the dance right, or like what dance am I supposed to be doing? Also, I just didn't listen to a lot of pop music back then, but and I still don't. But after I allowed myself to be immersed in music, so I'm just listening and I'm just doing my own. I'm making my own art right now. And if you want to join, please, by all means. If you want to judge, this is not our space. Fortunately, the Orff community doesn't do that. But I feel like if I knew what dancing was all about, it's not a set of steps. It's not a procedure to do the right thing. It's the procedure to just express yourself.
That's right.
Also, future, look for Jon as a movement levels instructor at some point.
Gosh,
are we future-proofing this?
I'm just gonna put it out there.
She's just putting that out
because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You are so creative, and you move in a way that makes everyone around you want to join in.
It's true. He was at the center of the Chula Vista clump, that's for sure. And we just the clump in the middle of the dance floor. And then we kept gathering more and more people. It's true. And I had someone lean over to me and say, he's already a movement instructor. We just have to put the stamp on it. So it's happening.
And if someone's trying to listen to the backlog 4 years later and like, wait, I thought Jon Seligman was already a movement instructor.
Not yet, but we'll get there. Fires were lit. It's exciting.
That is so true.
It is exciting. All right. Well, we're gonna get Sandra on the phone now. All right, and we have Sandra on the phone. Say hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
We got to put up with this sass for a whole weekend, and it was so great.
It was great.
My favorite shirt that Sandra wears says "The sass is strong" with this one, in like Star Wars print.
That was a gift.
It's so perfect. So, Sandra, I know our hearts are so full from this weekend and from just being together and what we learned. So what do you want to share about your first Orff conference?
It was overwhelming. I feel like in day one, I walked away with 1,001 ideas that could serve me for not only the rest of the year, but for the rest of my life. It was a lot of information. It was very inspirational. I think what I took away the most was just meeting really cool people, meeting people from across the country that were doing the same thing, had the same passion, and were really there for one reason, to learn. And I thought that was very inspiring. I met some really awesome people. So
good.
That was my biggest takeaway.
Is there anything that stuck out to you that in particular, or a person that you connected with that you want to share about?
Yeah. I met this guy named Laban.
Shout out to Laban.
Laban Gomez from New York. I saw Juan Carlos from New York. They were a lot of fun. He had this really cute bear that was a special needs bear that he takes with him everywhere he goes, and he takes pictures, and he keeps a log for this bear. And so we took a picture of him. Cute. Zoe and I took a picture with the bear, and everywhere I saw him, somebody was taking a picture with the bear.
Aww.
I thought that was not only brilliant, but incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Just intuitive and kind. And I just thought it was brilliant. And his students loved it. And I can imagine how empowered his students feel that are, special needs. And I just thought that was really touching. It really touched my heart to see that.
Yeah.
And everywhere I looked, he was taking a picture with that bear. That bear was on fire.
That bear made the rounds.
Sure did. It was in everybody's hands.
I wanted to talk to you too. After we saw the kids perform, they always feature an ORF group. And we were all so inspired by that. And what was your takeaway from watching the amazing kids who got on stage?
A lot of times, and I echo what Sasha said, sometimes I felt great anger that I did not get to experience this.
We just talked about that before we got you on the phone.
Just a lot of resentment and just downright frustration to think that not only did I get cheated out of it, and by the way, you know how much older I am than you guys, so this has been gone for a long time in California.
Yeah, many decades.
Right. So cheated out of that, and then that my own children got cheated out of it.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really made me angry. So there was a deep level of frustration. There was a great deal of awe on my part. I'm sitting there watching with my mouth open, and I'm thinking all these thoughts like, okay, how much work did that take?
Seriously.
How was this organized? It was obviously, is it a special group? Is it one class? Is it a club? Is it, I was trying to figure out all these things as I was watching this. How can I replicate? How can I do this?
Yeah.
Where are those materials found? Et cetera. I had 1,001 teacher questions. And then I had to push them aside so I can be present and enjoy the performance.
Yeah.
Because I started getting into the minutia, and I had to tell myself, shut up. Because I think we all do that as teachers. We see something we like, and then we're thinking, okay, how can I steal it?
Right.
Where can I get the resources? How can I change it? Well, I don't know if I would have done that. We immediately, it's like me going to a performance. When I go to an opera performance, and if I know the opera well, I'm already analyzing.
Right.
Oh, there was a mistake there. Oh, somebody forgot, and it's horrible. Sometimes I just need to tell myself I'm just going as
I just need to enjoy this as an artist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's so horrible. I'm just as bad with dance. Oh, that was not very technically well.
Sure.
It's horrible. And anytime you know anything, it's almost like knowledge is almost I don't know. It's just a
burden,
a limiting factor sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes away from the enjoyment.
Definitely.
So anyway,
but isn't it so neat to see what's possible for our kids? Like, holy cow,
That was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. And
but like I said, there was also resentment. I'm thinking, how come I don't have that? Why don't I have those resources? Why don't my kids have those resources?
Right. And I think, for those of us who are building down here who have to be advocates at the same time as we are teachers, it was fuel for our fire to just
Absolutely.
I think we need to keep that in mind. And a certain amount of that is really important to when we get tired to be like, this is wrong and we are part of making it right. And I am not going to let this continue on my watch.
Right. I agree. I also felt really exhausted.
Yeah.
Honestly, just exhausted with carrying the load. Carrying the load by myself at my site, even though it was nice to be there with people like-minded. When I go back to my site and you have to fight, just for basics, I'd like to have technology that works. I'd like to have a computer, a screen beam, stuff that I can actually count on to work. And not be afraid that I'm going to be impaired from teaching or reinvent the wheel. There's always a backup plan, right? Yeah. Because my technology doesn't work, or because this doesn't work, or because I don't have this. So sometimes it's exhausting for me. And more so this year, I'm going to be honest, because of the special relationship with SDYS. It's been a real, I'm physically and emotionally exhausted.
You're doing the job of 3 different music teachers right now, between general music and special groups and after school. Yeah.
That is taking a lot of my time. So I'm really tired.
Fueled up. Yeah, we're fueled up and we got lots of inspiration, but we're also, we're reaching a point where we have some real decisions to make as a district about where are we going to take this and where are we building. But
right. What's going to be our priority?
We had a lot of good things come out of it, though.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, it was just a moment to really reflect. It was really a moment to see. There were so many emotions. I felt like I went from A to B and like, A to F or A to Z in like 2 seconds. I felt like I had a myriad of, constant emotion back and forth. Emotionally, I was exhausted.
I bet.
More so, I think, than physically because there was just so much going on. But, just seeing what was possible was mind-blowing, honestly. It was like, oh my God, I would have never thought of that. Or even for me, like sitting in a workshop and watching other groups perform was wonderful. It was like, oh yeah, we can do that. Oh yeah, because with my kids, there's so little room for us to move in. I find myself getting frustrated with my space. And I've been really working on making more room, especially for the big kids so they can move. And thinking, God, I wish my kids could move like that. But I'm thinking they don't have the space. So, just realizing your limits and trying to figure out creative ways to get around it was also where my mind was going a lot. Okay, how can I adapt that? How can I adapt
How can I make it work in my room? And we were kind of talking about that earlier, about how there have been a lot of comments made about how our level 2 room was tiny, and that's kind of a recurring joke that comes up about how tiny our level 2 room was. But dude, that is real life for us.
Real life.
And so we had to adapt some activities from level 2 that our instructors would have taught very differently, but I find that I'm able to actually use them because we were forced into our shoebox to make it work in a shoebox. And we teach in shoeboxes. None of us even have adequate performing spaces. Our stages are tiny.
Or big and round and weird and not enough room in the auditorium. So I have this enormous stage and I think, well, that's nice. We don't have the room for people to fit in. If I think Emily and I are in the same situation where if we did this, we would have to do like 3 days of performance. We'd have to split up the kids in 3 different groups. There's no way people would fit in.
One grade level at a time is all I can fit. I've got room for 1 grade level worth of parents.
Exactly. So I wish, obviously our schools were built at a time when the population was smaller.
And music looked a lot different.
Yes.
Exactly.
In it did not exist.
For your school, definitely. For my school, definitely. It was the 1970s when my school was built. But I'd like to know what it was like in the 50s and the 60s or even the 40s when some other schools were built. What were their music programs like? I know, for example, in my district, when I started working in the South Bay, and I worked there for 16 years, they had a music program, an instrumental program, and the kids actually would come late to school. They had to go to a particular place to rehearse in the mornings, and then they got to my class.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
And so, they had an instrumental program. But as far as
San Diego music history.
But this was in South Bay. So in the South Bay, when I was at this one school, we were the performing arts. The teachers there were encouraged to do performances throughout the year. And so one of my friends always did country line dancing. We did pseudo like talent show. And we taught our kids. I taught my kids a dance. We sang one time. So we were encouraged to do so.
Yeah.
It's been around,
we just had to create it. We had to make it happen in our own way.
Well, and I'm really excited for how we're going to keep making music happen in our own way and practice self-care in the process and figure out what balance looks like and what our administration's willing to support. We've been inspired, but there is a long journey of unpacking all of this ahead. And I know you're always thinking about what am I going to pass along next, for the person who comes after me. So, so thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Of course.
And I miss you. I strangely miss you all.
I know, I miss you too. I know we don't get to ukulele jam tonight.
No. And we're not haunted.
Yeah, I know. We're not haunted anymore.
Alonzo came with us.
Yeah.
She kept waking me up. I was like, chick, let me sleep. Dude, stop it.
She knew who to bother, that's for sure.
I know. She was making the rounds. I think it was so funny. I told my kids, I go, yeah, we were in a haunted house. You what? And I said, yes.
We were.
She kept, and later on, slowly but surely, I said, people kept saying, yeah, she came to my room too.
Oh, yeah. I told you.
Yep. And it was so funny. I go, because I kept thinking, I didn't want to think about it because I get creeped out by that stuff.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about you right now. I'm going to ignore you, but I couldn't sleep.
Maybe in Kansas City, we'll get a newer house.
Yeah, no more Victorians.
No more Victorians.
I thought the same thing. I'm done with the Victorians.
I'm done with the Victorians. Sandra, thanks so much, friend.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
Rest up.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Have a good one, you guys.
Happy
I miss you all.
Thanksgiving.
Miss you too,
back.
Sandra.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. We've got one more person to call. We're going to get Zoe on the phone. So, guys, Sandra said a lot just now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it covers the feeling of reestablishing, music in San Diego so well. And she's had a long career. And so she's seen music ed down here as a child and as a teacher. If you haven't heard her story, we have a whole episode featuring Sandra and her incredible story as an English learner when she was a little girl and growing up split between San Diego and Tijuana, and just what that experience was like as a child in during integration and civil rights and all that
She's
stuff.
a lovely song also to share.
Oh, a lovely song. Oh my goodness. So what do you think about her impressions?
Well, one thing that stood out to me is it was with the performance, was what she shared. First off, how we get into this mindset of constantly looking for the imperfections. And part of it is, I think, is part of the human condition. We do that. But I think part of it is also how we are trained as musicians. We are looking for the incorrect. We're looking for the problems with our own performances, and then we try to bolster ourselves by looking for the problems in other people's performances. And I feel like how much better can we teach our students if it's not about the wrong notes, but rather, as my art teacher says, the little oopsies we make. And then how do you create art from that? If so, then we can see, oh my gosh, I saw I was a quick story, sorry. I was at a friend's play. She was directing it at the school. Shout out to Amanda.
Shout out.
And like this student, he was they're doing this play. He dropped his gum out of his mouth by accident.
Oh my gosh.
And he like smoothly just pulled, because his character is chewing gum. He smoothly just pulls another one, and plays it back to another. It was no one's business. I noticed it, but I also noticed how nice of a transition that was. And I think the fact that I don't fixate on the mistake, but I'm able to see oh wow, that was a great sense of improvisation, is maybe a facet of the ORF. It's how do you move with the improvisation? How do you move through mistakes?
Right.
Or quote unquote mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was super inspired as well by the performances. And when she was talking about, I was focusing on this and that. Like at first I was like, oh my goodness, they are fantastic.
Yeah, the kids were incredible.
In my mind, what is the timeline to create these confident performers? Because there was, in both groups, children's groups we saw, there was just a confidence about every single person on that stage.
Yes.
And that for me was like, I can create that confidence. Maybe they're not going to be playing at that same level, but I can create a safe environment for them to feel that when they perform, that it's their show. And so that I took away from that. That's my little goal for this upcoming year, is to create confident performers regardless of what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I came home from the last ORF conference, so I went alone. Last year.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
So sad.
It was my first ORF conference. I'm so glad that I went. And I came back with my mind and my world just blown open. And I felt so out of place at first, but then I found our levels instructors, and Drew Bollington, hi Drew, he asked me last year, how are you doing? And I said, well, I feel a little bit like I've crashed a family reunion. And he just looked at me and said, and you're new to the family.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
we are.
And then they all just drew me in and put me right in the middle of their little row.
Aww.
And it was really special to go back this year and truly feel like a member of the family. And it was really cool to bring you guys with me.
Because we crashed that party.
Yeah. San Diego crashed the party hard, people. Yeah. There it is again. So I'm really glad. I'm glad that we were together. I'm glad that you guys are on this journey with me and that we are all just wading into these waters together. And as frustrated as we are with the political situation that keeps holding us back from everything that we want to do in music education, we have so much fire under us.
We do.
And it has just been fueled this weekend.
And it's fire that's not burning us, but fire that's pushing us forward.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it keeps me going. And it's like right when I get to that point, like Sandra was talking about we are tired. All of us are we're doing work in our schools that when I talk to people who are in more established programs who have more than one music teacher at their site,
It still blows me away.
Oh my God.
Happens.
It blows my mind. And I can't even imagine having an instrumental and a general music and an after school all at one site for the amount of children we teach. And so but it also helps me understand that we are doing 3 or 4 people's worth of work.
Yeah.
It sure feels like it. Of course it feels like, and we have no guaranteed prep time. None of us do.
And also, since we're starting from scratch, that's another job on top of it.
Yes, and we're advocates. It's a lot. And so these are important because we need as much support as we can get because we are tired and we are emotionally spent. But it's too important to quit. So we need to figure out how to take care of ourselves in the middle of it and say, this is as far as I can take it. But also what I took from the performance last year, and it was solidified again, we need to take our kids who really get it and who really love it from each site, and we need to put them together.
I fully agree. When you said that during the after the performance, yes, this needs to happen.
All we need is 10 kids from each site, and we'll learn the same couple pieces. We'll make it a short run after school thing, and then just put them together. And then, my goodness, we'll show our administrators who are already fans, but they don't really understand the power yet, to see our children in real life. Doing what we know they can do. And now we just got to make it happen. So, but see, I watched that performance, and by the end of it, I had it all mapped out. I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to get on stage. And then,
you had that for me. I said, holy piff, what is this?
Don't worry, I got you, boo.
Maybe during the second
I got it broken down. It's just how you break it down. It's all process. All of it is just
very doable.
All of it is
it's
process.
very doable. It's just, I was floored. I was utterly floored that I know this exists, but the fact that schools have now done this.
Yes.
Have been doing this. And like, wow, we are so behind. We need to catch up. I know we're new. We're young.
We're new.
But as far as...
Orph babies, remember?
We are Orph babies,
we're working
yes.
on it.
But we can't compare ourselves. Like
behind is the wrong term, but in the same sense, like we have a... But even though we're babies, we have a lot of catching up to do. I feel like it's not a negative statement.
I hear where you're coming from. I also know your heart. And it's easy to feel that way. I don't think we have anything to prove to anybody.
Oh, that's true.
And
that's for myself.
I hear you. You know I do.
I know.
I have all these aspirations, and it's so wonderful in my head. I love it in there. But we work with real life. We work with real children, and so whatever we can give them is what we can give them, and it is enough.
But and what if we didn't work with real children? What if we can...
Shut up. Okay, there he goes. No, you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying, and whatever we can offer and that they can embrace, that is so much better than what they've had. And we're only going up.
We're only going up.
Orph elevated.
Level up.
Level up.
Level up.
I think Zoe's ready to be called now, so let's give her a little call. Hi, Zoe.
Should I be right in front of my little pig?
You could be in front of your pig
that's
picture.
great.
I like it a lot. Zoe just got back from getting her wedding dress fitted.
I did.
Yay! I'm so
Yay.
excited for you. So Zoe, tell us what you carried back from conference. We've had a big conversation with everybody today, but what are you thinking about as you're unpacking all of it?
Still haven't unpacked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I am like finally feeling human again.
Nobody slept.
Nobody slept. I was telling the seamstress that is working on my dress, but I think the ghost kept us all up and didn't allow us to sleep.
Yes.
And she was like, well, anyway, I won't get into the ghost, but what else am I I friend requested Liban, one of my new favorite people.
Yay, Liban. Hey.
One of our New Jersey friends, and I had a chance to meet him. We went to a bunch of sessions together, So when did I think we really bonded during the Doug Goodkin session, humanitarian musician. We were in a like a movement group together during Fungalafia. And he's just got such a bright light, and like Doug's presentation was so engaging. And I actually had performed that song as a 4th grader.
Oh, yeah.
3rd grader. Oh. Yeah.
The one of us who got to be in an ORF program as a kid. I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was really special. And I don't know if you talked about this with Sandra, but Doug's session was, it kind of blindsided me. It was very, I mean, it was what I needed, but I didn't know I needed it. It was it went right to the soul of, or the heart of why we do what we do.
Yeah. What did you, and in what way? What did you take from it?
Well, he had arranged a Emily Dickinson, am I saying that right?
Yep.
The poet. Yeah, he had arranged one of her poems about, like, basically if you are able to help one other person or one other living being, then you've done your job. And it was so beautiful. I was crying, and then looked over at Sandra, she's crying, and then Marc had walked in right after the session ended because Doug was he did the session twice, like back to back. And we started telling Marc about it, and we both started crying again. And it was just it was just really beautiful. And it was like, it was such a good reminder of, like, you know, why we do what we do, and acknowledging the sacrifice and acknowledging the difficulty, and kind of honoring that. So
definitely. That's beautiful. I think we all needed the reflection time, and Sandra did talk about being emotionally exhausted, and it was a lot of inspiration, and it was a lot of heart, and it was a lot of healing together, I think. And I know I came home, I slept really hard on the plane, and I slept so hard last night. Just thinking about processing all of the highs and lows, and how much we need that. We need to be broken open in order to heal correctly. And so this was a breaking open for all of us. It was an inspiration for what's possible. And it was like a refuel of the mission and purpose of what we're trying to do with very little resources. But I think I walked out of this weekend feeling the support from the entire organization. And I didn't really get how much support there was before this weekend. You know, we have our people who have reached out to us and who've taught us and who've nurtured us, but to feel that and to have like national board members say, what can we do to help you, was so touching and so needed. So it was just a whole lot of, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be it people or ghosts.
Be it people or ghosts. Yeah.
I don't know if Abigail was there to support us, though. I think she...
did you call her Abigail?
She was nice enough. Oh, that's what Sandra and I started calling her.
Oh, Abigail. Oh, I got a different name. Interesting. Maybe there were 2 ghosts.
Maybe.
I only met one on the last night.
Oh, my gosh.
When Emily wasn't there.
Oh, no. Well, yeah. Okay, no more Victorians.
Ghost stories. No more Victorians.
No more Victorians.
Postmodernistic.
Or ghost hunters.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Zoe, thanks so much for calling in, and rest up, my friend.
All right.
Yeah.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Zoe.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my gosh. So much good stuff, right? Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to share while we wrap up our discussion?
When I came in, because I saw the Doug Goodkin second session, and they stayed.
Yeah.
Sandra and Zoe did it twice because that's how
So
moved
which day
they were.
was this? Saturday. So day 2.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Day 2 or 3. It was later.
Saturday's Day 3.
Friday.
Day 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really... I understand where she was coming from, and I think I was maybe a little prepared for it, having seen them both kind of recovering from that emotion.
What was it that really got you that he said?
For me, it was just... I could tell that there was purpose in bringing the world to his students. Here's the whole world, and I have traveled parts of it, and I'm giving the gift of this song from another country to you for you to share. That's how I took. That was my takeaway of it, and maybe that's just how I want to do that to my students. So it was kind of like that's what I grabbed from it, but it was beautiful. And it was lovely to just play and watch and be a part of the whole world. Yeah.
He has a very different situation than we have, and they have built something truly special at the San Francisco school. And sometimes I look at programs like his and I get overwhelmed thinking, how on earth can I do anything that compares? But I have some of his books, and I have thought a lot about a line. I can't remember what book it's from at this point, but he talks about how so many of our children are starving, using it metaphorically. But when you walk into his school, you see what a child who is used to feasting at the table does when they approach the table. They sit down with comfort. They relax with their friends, and they enjoy the feast. And at his school, they don't just do music for music's sake. They use music integration, which is, it's so something that our hearts long to give our Title I, students, and we have so few resources or even support from our colleagues to make it happen, but we see examples of what's possible and long for it and long to be the ones to put it into our children's hands. So it's a beautiful thought, and I guess what I have taken from it is I might not be able to provide an entire feast, but I can feed them. Yeah. And for students who have not experienced anything before, like I said before, that's what we can give, and it's enough.
And I think also with if you want to take the whole food analogy farther, like, yes, I might not have enough food. You might not have enough food, but if we come together, we can create a farm enough to make enough food for this community of Chula Vista, of San Diego, of the United States.
Right. Yeah.
The world.
And I came back from that Northern California conference and learning what they're doing up there at the San Francisco school and seeing how those 3 teachers work together and what they've built as far as professional development. And I told, Jonathan and Mark and Zoe, I'm like, there's our dream, guys. Why if they take our funding away again, maybe we'll just have the Chula Vista school and it'll all be good,
Beautiful.
Maybe that's plan B. I don't know. But it sure is cool to see what everybody is doing in their own way and how the Schulwerk manifests itself differently. And I look at that. I think some people look at it and say there's a right and a wrong way to be an ORF teacher. There's a right and a wrong, you can't really be a Schulwerk teacher unless you are in a private school where you see your kids every single day.
Is that actually, people have said that?
I've gotten that before. Okay. I don't think it's a prevalent attitude, but it's there. It is there.
Wow.
I feel like the insecurity that I am not doing ORF correctly. And I'm in my 3rd year, and so my first 2 years I say I'm surviving, and this year I'm finally starting to teach.
Yeah.
I'm starting, my process is developing, and my teacher voice is developing, but there's definitely, I understand that feeling of maybe I'm doing it incorrectly.
Right. Yeah. And maybe it's just my own voice in my own head. But I've gotten that feeling from others.
Oh, the feeling? Okay, sure.
Yeah, well, I've heard people say it out loud that you can't authentically practice ORF Schulwerk unless you see your kids a certain amount of time and have all this stuff.
That astonishes me.
And I think it comes. It is unfortunate, but I think it just comes from a place of wanting to do it the right way and saying if we're not giving kids all of this, then it's not truly what it needs to be. And I get that. I get it, because goodness knows I would like to give them more.
Yeah.
But I think that we can take what we can take, and we can adapt, and we can offer. And like I said, it might not be the whole feast, but but we are feeding them. We are feeding them, and the process is solid, and it is. It's just good teaching. I think that the biggest gift I've gotten, other than learning how to value my own creative ideas, I've gotten just to see so many excellent teachers teach, and I've absorbed good teaching from our levels instructors and from all of these sessions that I've gone to in the workshops. Just how is this process delivered? And I think that's so valuable. And having all these discussions too about how do you maintain your sanity while you're trying to manage hundreds of children, and you absorb their energy. I just feel all of their feelings.
As teachers, we all just sponge it.
So anyway, thanks you guys. Thanks for everything. This weekend was magic.
Are we gonna?
We have one more person to call. We have our new friend Manny. So while we get him on the phone, for Spiccato this week, I wanted to feature, so I have all of my conference freebies on the table in front of us. I got spray with Teaching with Orff. They were handing out room spray, and it smells so good. So thank you so much, Teaching with Orff.
Oh, really?
My goodness. It smells wonderful, and I have 2 music rooms that get so stinky, so thank you. Sonar was giving out wooden pens that are so nice, and it just feels like xylophone bars, which I thought was great. West Music gave out pens and little tiny maracas, and I know, maraca keychains, right? Parapol sponsored, and every single attendee got a Halo recorder from Parapol. And then I treated myself to a little Harmony Garkline recorder, which I'm really excited about. So I will be practicing my SpongeBob. It's so tiny, it's hard to hold.
Is that sopranino, or is it even small?
See, it's teeny tiny. No, it's not a sopranino. It's even smaller. This is going to be my purse recorder. And I got a little tambourine keychain that actually jingles a little bit. David Thaxton, our level 1 teacher.
Shout out.
Our Orff dad wrote a new book, Making Tracks, Recorder Explorations, Creations, and Improvisations. And the cool thing about it, it's by Sweet Pipes is who it's published through. The cool thing about it is everything is train themed. So,
bingo.
Yay! It's so exciting. And he went down this really fun rabbit hole with doing research about how all of the different brands of train whistles sound. So you can actually have an authentic train whistle sound with your alto recorders following this. Oh my gosh, so good, right? And then I volunteer with an organization. I'm a director for the American Center for Elemental Music and Movement. So shout out to my friends through there. And we were giving away these movement cards put together by Kate Bright. And they are the Le Bon movement efforts, but she reworded some of them because she found that it was a little tricky when she put like punch or or press or dab in front of her children. So this is going to be our Spiccato. I have a set of movement cards, and if you go to ACEMM.us, Kate is going to be sharing her lesson plan ideas for how she recommends that you use this. And if you sign up for emails, email updates, and they're all helpful, by the way, with ACEMM, and you can do that on the website, ACEMM.us. You can get the PDF version for these, so you can blow them up. You can make a bunch of them. But they say, so here they are. They say sudden, sustained, indirect, direct, light, and heavy.
Okay.
Fun.
So how would you use these? What's your idea? Just looking at them.
Just the cards, or?
Yeah, just how would you use the cards?
The fact that there's 2 of each, I might do like here's your card. Don't show it. Don't show anyone.
Ooh.
Now do this movement and find the person who has the same movement as you. Like, kind of like a mixer.
Get it. So as they're entering the room.
Yeah, but don't show anyone. You can't use your words. You can only use your movement.
Okay.
Or, get an instrument. How would you play?
I think...
I don't know.
Jumping off that, maybe have people get into groups of 3 or 4.
Okay.
And you have to have people of contrasting.
Ooh,
Okay.
So if you're sudden, sustained
What would be- what's your opposite?
Sustained.
Got it.
And since there's 2 is enough for,
You would eventually have a group of 4.
unless someone wasn't there or something. Yeah, so 3. Okay. Yeah. Which is why I say the 2, 3, or 4.
I like the guessing game idea, and that was my idea too.
It's kind of like who am I? Like when it's on
Yeah,
the
exactly.
here, like
My thought was that we would divide into groups around the room, and then every group would be assigned one of these, and they had to create a movement and, accompanying music piece on the ORF instruments, and then the class would vote on which effort they thought it was. So I'm
so it's still a secret.
Yeah, it's still a secret, so you still have to guess. But we would have discussed what the elements of all of these would have been. So I'm excited to see Kate's ideas.
Yeah,
and Kate, it was so nice to see you in person. I kept telling people it's so nice to see you in 3D. Because these humans are all wonderful. Everybody who serves on the board of ACEMM is great. And if you are an elemental music teacher and you're listening to this, please go to ACEMM.us because we offer grants and scholarships for materials and professional development. And we also offer a spotlight award. So if anybody in your community who's an elemental music teacher is doing amazing work and they deserve to be highlighted, you can nominate them and we will feature them in a blog post and blast it on our social medias and send their principal a letter about how awesome they are. And, like we've said in the past, we have to lift each other up. So, so thanks for that, friends.
Those who have been listening and watching, thank you very much. And I hope that this has been some sort of comfort to you guys and showing that we're a community that we can help each other out. But you could help us out a lot if you could if you could leave us a review. This would help bring a lot more people to see what kind of things we have and just more visibility and more people part of our community so that we can share more stuff.
Yeah. And we are searching for sponsors so that we can keep this going. This has been such an amazing project to work on, and we have met more people through it than we ever dreamed would ever want to listen to us talk. But if you are a member of an organization that would be interested in making a financial contribution to keep our work going, to promote what we're doing in Southern California, please reach out to us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Round of the week. Manny!
Hey,
Look at that.
So, hey, what are we? We have brought Manny Boga on, who is in his classroom on his prep in Reno, Nevada, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think you're going to help us with the round of the week, am I right?
Yeah, sounds like it.
What are we singing?
This is Make New Friends.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
And we were all just at ORF Conference in Salt Lake, and we made new friends.
We made friends. I gotta say,
friends.
we all came back and we're like, we're keeping Manny forever.
Yes.
Manny, come to San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come to San Diego.
Yeah.
I could definitely come and visit.
Yeah.
Reno's kind of my
No, you can come. That's
jam.
I'll
come
be
visit.
fine if you
and
visit.
then we'll come to Reno. It'll be great.
Yeah.
All right. So go for it.
Well, it goes like this. Let me make sure I'm on. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold.
So you start.
Make new friends, but keep the old.
One
is silver and the other's gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. One is silver and the other's gold.
Yay. Okay, bring it back.
Am I back?
Right.
Yeah,
Yay.
you're back.
Manny, is there anything
Awesome.
that you wanted to share about conference while we wrap up the episode?
Share about conference.
Yeah.
I was just it was my first conference, and I was just so happy with all the connections that I made and how every single person in the Schulwerk is just so kind, no matter if they're presenting or if they teach at a college level or a high school level or anywhere. They just have it built in, that kindness and that welcoming spirit that I aspire to. So
Yes.
that's what I got.
And God bless you for teaching the day after you got home.
Seriously, man.
Well, I have my student teacher to thank for that. She's doing a great job. I am support today.
Good. Okay, cool. Good. Awesome. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Manny.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.
Care. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
This has been really fun, guys. Calling around and getting all the impressions. I know I'm leaving conference with a very full heart. Yeah. A lot of inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yep. A lot of deep reflection, and now I think it's time to like eat turkey.
I'll have tofu.
Okay.
I'll have cake.
Tofurkey. You'll have cake. No turkey.
My birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
It's not done yet. Well, you can wish me then. But
we wish you a happy birthday, a joyful and celebrated birthday. Our friend Jonathan, we wish you a long, long life. Bonus round of the week.
Yeah.
Yay! Round of the week. I had people at WRF conference singing my round of the week to me in the hallways, and it was my favorite thing ever.
Which one? Oh, round of the week.
Yes. So thank you for listening, you guys. It makes us. It just makes us so happy. And I had a couple people come up to us at conference and tell us that you listen to us on the way to work so that you don't feel alone. And so if you're listening to us on the way to work, you are not. And we got you. And we are so thrilled that we have gained this incredible community. So thank you, friends. Have a wonderful week.
Also, if you want to share us your thoughts, or talk to us directly, you can always find me on the Twitterverse at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman.
You can find me at Finny Vappa.
You can find me at Miss Stone Music.
All right. See you later, alligators.
After a while.
Crocodile.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore, Jonathan Seligman, Zoe Kumagai, and Marc Keehmer. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Brian Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com. I don't think I'll ever forget those videos of you guys with the bubble issues. So
the bubbles.
Oh. Not only was our house haunted,
it was full of bubbles.
It was full of bubbles.
I do know how to use the dishwasher.
It's full of bubbles, and it's also full of people just chopping up bread with their hands.
Oh my god, yeah. Sasha definitely put Dawn soap in the dishwasher.
In my defense, I didn't know that the cubes were like for the dishwasher. I don't have a dishwasher.
Never seen dishwasher pods? Have you never seen them?
I've heard of them, but I'd never seen them.
What planet are you from?
Valley Center.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that explains everything. No, but the entire kitchen was full of bubbles, and because it was a house full of ORF teachers, we had a bubble party.
And then I sprinkled bread on the floor.
Yeah.
Sprinkled? You
How did that even start?
I chopped it, and then it sprinkled.
No, you didn't chop it like a normal human. Somebody held it.
Yeah, Emily Dawson was holding it.
And then you karate chop it.
The idea was I was
baguette.
asked to cut the baguette for our ORFsgiving party.
ORFsgiving.
And then I was cutting up, and I was about to cut it up.
Zoe also said, I paid $1.75. Please don't chop it.
And I sent her that $1.75 via Venmo.
Good.
And then
Good
I
job.
did, yes.
I'm so happy that you did that. Totally
said,
worth it.
What would happen if I just chopped this right now in my hands?
Well, and then we wrote a new verse to Benji. Jonathan chopped the bread, right?
Yeah.
What?
John chopped the bread.
No, it was John held the bread.
No.
What was it? John had the bread had John. John went chop, the bread went flop. So many brand new inside jokes.
See you guys at Casey. Yeah.
Uh-oh. So. This is going to be like the dreaming podcast, isn't it?
Ring.
8. Okay, got it.
Ring, 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 ring.
Just friend request. Oh my gosh, my cat is throwing up. Dang. Well, this is gonna be fun. I don't know if you can hear it. It's awful.
No, we can't.
Thanks for providing today's outtake.
No, we're keeping this.
Her cat's throwing up. Is it still going?
She's
Is she throwing up on you?
no, just on the rug. You good, Chloe? I think she's done.
Oh my gosh.